Hajat, is it Shekat? Hajat, sister. She wants me to call her sister, Zaitun Kachama, from PAM Professional Counselors, mashallah. She'll be taking us through the aspect of hijab. We shall be looking at the origin of hijab, what makes a hijab, the characters and of hijab. We shall be looking at the origin of hijab. Then we shall be looking at the colors. Does it matter? Are we supposed to have specific colors for hijab? Naam. Hajat, say salam to our viewers.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good evening, viewers.
Naam. You're welcome to UBC.
Thank you very much. It's always an honor to be here.
MashaAllah.
And I'm always grateful to Allah.
Okay.
And very thankful to you for not getting tired of me.
I can't. Yeah. Obviously, because this is inside Islam and we're supposed to be sharing information and knowledge and to discuss issues pertaining Islam, mashallah. So, today we are discussing hijab. First of all, let me understand the origin of hijab. Yes.
Of course, all praises are due to Allah, the most merciful, the most gracious.
Yeah, okay.
He is the master of the universe.
Okay.
He's the one who has our lives in his hands.
Okay.
And he is the one who created us handsome and beautiful.
Okay.
And then he is the one who told us to do what we are going to talk about, to do hijab.
Okay.
After creating us so beautifully, you know, with all that we have, that we know, he is the one who told us that now you cover or you screen. Okay. So, of course, the origin of hijab, first of all, is from our Creator. Okay. Because just like any important or someone who is responsible, when you create or when you have something valuable and you want to preserve it, you always give it guidelines. For example, if we have pupils in school and we want them to pass well, you know, you want them to get good grades,
succeed,
you give them guidelines that, you know what, in the morning you go for prep, and then after prep you give them a timetable, you give them a guidelines, and you give them, you know, you give them a good environment. Similarly, when our Creator created us, He knows what is best for us.
True.
True. You know, He knows our inside and our outside.
Yes.
So He could not just leave us to just move anyhow.
Yes.
He could not just leave us to dress anyhow. So Him being the wisest, He went ahead and gave us a dress code. Or He went ahead and
women, you are supposed to put on like this. Women
exactly. And women are supposed to dress. So we could literally say that the Islamic dress code, or the way a human being is supposed to dress in different, you know, places and different times, is what we could call hijab. So maybe the other origin that we could look at that people need to know is hijab it comes from an Arabic word that it says it's a screen or something that separates between you and me. And particularly it is a screen between the opposite sex. And it is a screen that, you know, takes away the sexual organs or the private parts to be visible by the opposite sex. We could just use that simple meaning. So that is what hijab could be in simple terms.
Is the dress code. As if you're not separating it. Is it for me only women, or for only, or even the men? Because the way when you talk about the word hijab, as if it cuts across.
When Allah tells us to dress, there are ayahs in the Quran. Most of the hijab prescriptions are in Surah Al-Ahzab. We have Surah An-Nur, and a little maybe in Surah An-Nisa, where Allah is telling us how to dress. But there is an ayah where Allah tells the men and women to cover their, we call it the aura, to cover their private parts. You know, to keep them safe from, you know, from visibility, that not everybody should know your private parts. In our
common understanding, when we talk about private parts, we mean these parts only.
For men, you don't have so many private parts. Yeah, I don't know why. I think
No,
that is how.
What are the private parts Islamically?
For men, in terms of hijab, a man's private parts are those parts between his navel, this navel, and his knees.
Oh.
So whenever a man puts on something that covers above his navel and below his knees, his private parts are good and they are covered.
So I cannot perform prayers when I'm putting on sleeveless?
You can.
Oh.
You can. That is why we have this that wrapper for men. You see that you can wrap it just on your stomach, and you pray. The chest is not a private part. You cannot show me your chest and I get disturbed.
Really?
No.
Okay.
A man's chest is an ordinary thing to see, but a woman's chest is not an ordinary part to see. So the opposite is women. Women are a private part. The whole of a woman is a private part.
Even the hands?
The hands, the face, the feet. Because when they tell us to cover our bodies, the Quran told us first, it told us to cover our head or our hair, and then it told us to cover our bosom. The bosom is the chest, and then there is a part where they are telling us to actually separate ourselves completely from the opposite sex. It means you take away your whole body from the opposite sex. But again, when it comes to the ordinary living or the common life today, there are some there is looseness. We reduce the strictness because of how the world is moving, because of how we have so many activities that we have to do. And when Allah tells us, for example, hijab for swala, how a woman should dress for swala, we are told to cover our body and we leave the face and the hands. For swala. So
but then when you're moving out of your house?
When we are moving out of our house, now that is the hijab that we know.
True.
That is the common understanding of hijab.
And secondly, when talk about hijab, then what's the difference between hijab and niqab?
Hijab has levels. We have
because sometimes we look at those ladies who are covering everything, even the eyes, even the faces.
Actually, hijab is elevated from one is total separation of a woman from man. A screen whereby women are in their zone and men are in their zone. We do not see, we do not hear, we do not smell, we do not. That is total
cover
hijab.
Everything.
Even though they are naked, but they are away from men. That is the first level. Then the second level is total covering of the whole body, where we do not see anything. That is in public, because people need to understand that hijab is a prescription of dressing in public and in private. And so depending on where you are and who you are with.
If you're
because you could be inside your home, but when there are strangers in your home, when they are friends of your visitor, your husband has brought in friends, male friends, your husband has brought in male relatives, because we know, we have been told who to cover from. We have been told that you cover when this and this person is not near you. So to be clear, is hijab is how we dress according to where we are interacting.
So first of all, let's first discuss hijab at home.
Hijab at home.
Yes.
When I'm at home, when I'm in my home, if I'm with my husband, I'm supposed to put on as little as possible.
True.
I'm supposed to put on as transparent as possible. I'm supposed to put on as bright and shining and flowery as possible. I'm supposed to put on.
I'm marking the word shining.
Shining, bright. Everything that is attractive is what I'm supposed to put on at home if I'm with my husband.
That is home.
But again, if I'm at home and
when there are visitors,
if we have visitors, then I have to cover the shining. I'm supposed to cover the bright.
When you talk about shining, what do you mean?
We have clothes today that are very common, that are sold,
sparkling colors,
whereby you have, for example, a dress like mine, and then they put on, stones, bright stones, or bright, and then it starts glittering, when and the more light.
You mean the crashing colors? Those
we have colors. Of course, we have brightness. Then we have glittering.
Glittering, yes.
So we have shining. You know, all those they mean differently, but all of them are causing attraction.
So when there are visitors at home, you're not supposed to put on that.
You can put on, but cover.
Oh, you
cover, because that kind of dress is supposed to be put on for your husband. It is supposed to create attraction. It is supposed to maintain chemistry between you and your husband.
Okay.
So we do not want any other person to see
be part of the chemistry.
Exactly.
Okay.
Those people should be in the history or maybe the other subjects.
Okay.
But they should not be in the biology and the chemistry.
Okay.
So when we are at home and we are amongst our children,
true.
Especially children before puberty, we can dress freely. You know, if I'm around
that is around
from breastfeeding
up to
toddlers up to around 10 years.
10 years
around, because today the way the children are growing is differing. But children who have not yet got into puberty, especially the opposite, the boys. Because if I'm with my daughter, I'm free. I'm free. But again, you don't undress and you walk with your breasts, you know, open, and you walk with.
These are your kids, and
we don't take these kids for granted, because they might take some lessons that you're not teaching. You don't want to see your children see how your body has changed and has grown into. They might go out and start discussing you.
Mommy,
that you see, mommy has spare tires and she has, you know, stretch marks and all those things. So we need to hijab. Has been given to us for us to have privacy. It has given it was given to us for us to have boundaries between different people that we live with. The other thing that we have to be very cautious about is males that are in our homes. You for example,
because sometimes we have extended families at home.
We have askaris. People today have askaris in their homes. People have shamba boys, border men today come in.
And
house boys. Border men come in, and you can, for example, buy food and you send it. And then your wife comes in dressed, you know, not even covered. So ladies out there, whenever a man who can marry you is near you, that is a non-mahram. Someone who can marry you, not someone who has married you, but someone who you know, the religion allows to marry you. That person you should always cover. For our children, it's just, you know, maintaining decency and the morals, you know, to maintain morals. But otherwise, you could move anyhow. You can put on your tight pants in your home, and inside your home.
Now you're looking at mommy and daddy relationship, but look at the sister to brother relationship at home. Sister brother relationship, uncle, cousins, niece relationship. Because today shaitan is hyper. You know, shaitan keeps every day. The more we move closer to the day of judgment, shaitan is more active, because his time is coming. You know, he's getting over. As if you're alerting us that judgment day is nearing. Yeah, judgment day is near. I think the signs have been here. Next time we shall look at the signs of the inshallah, because indeed one of the signs is women will move on the streets half naked. We shall be there. Yeah, that is one of the signs. So hijab will reduce. Yes. So because shaitan is very active these days, we are seeing immorality or sexual immorality between relatives, you know, father and daughter, you know, sister and brother, cousins. These people are engaging in sexual acts. It's because the dress code, one of the reasons is because the dress code is not very careful. You know, you as a sister, you as a woman might think that the other cousin or the other brother-in-law is not attracted to you. So today you might find that my husband has brought in his brother. You know, to come from home and go to campus. We have incidents where, you know, these young men have raped their brothers' wives. You know, we have these boys, you know, conning their brothers' wives simply because the wife has taken things for granted and she's exposing herself, you know, carelessly. She moves around shaking the buttocks, no bra, you know, makeup, you know, perfume, because remember perfume is allowed at home. So this boy, being a mature or an adult person, is affected.
affected.
Okay.
And
okay.
most of the time, the results we cannot control.
True.
So we want to call upon parents
okay.
and people who are managing homes to be very careful. When it comes to dressing, one of the things that can reduce sexuality or immorality when it comes to sex is careful dressing. We have little kids,
yes,
young kids of 2 years, 3 years, and they've been raped.
True, true.
And they are being raped by you know, elderly men of 30, 28.
Sometimes I think it's not that the other distance you're talking about, it is the upright moral. I mean, something wrong with the devil.
We want to think the devil, one thing is for sure, the devil is very, even
yes.
here, he's here. For us Muslims, we know that the devil moves with us. But there are things that we can clearly cite that some mothers,
okay?
Some mothers do not dress up their daughters.
True.
You find a little girl moving all over the village.
Naked, half naked. Okay. Naked
with beads in the waist,
yes,
and she's very healthy. You know, she has beads in the hair, and she's moving, and you know, she's looking very nice. So the devil comes on this other man, and he takes the girl just in like a corner there, and he rapes this little girl.
Oh my
that
God.
maybe if we had dressed this girl, probably it would not happen.
It will control.
Okay, it would, you know, it would not bring those very evil, evil things or thoughts in the
okay. Sister, you want me to call you sister, though sometimes I want to call you Shekat.
No, I'm your sister.
What's the difference?
I'm going to be a shekat soon.
Inshallah.
Yeah, I'm supposed to qualify to become a shekat.
Now let's look at hijab outside home.
Outside the home.
Because you said when you're home, you're supposed to be putting on something glittering, shining, bright.
We are supposed to dress freely.
Home.
When you're at home, you should be free, because a home is for us to be at peace. I
think when you talk about a home, you're meaning a home where you and your husband and the kids.
And your children.
But when you talk about the home, when there are very many other people.
Of course, today our homes have changed a bit. We have homes, we have rentals, the so-called mozigos. Those are things we still also have to look at. If you are in a mozigo where even the bathroom is external.
You have to move.
So we, of course, for us Muslims, you don't move in a towel and you go and shower and you come back in a towel.
But it's common now.
It's commonly done, but it's not for Muslims. But by the way, maybe we didn't clarify very well. When Allah was prescribing hijab, one of the ayahs, he told the Prophet that, "O Prophet, tell your wives and the wives of believing men and believing men and daughters of believing men." Okay.
I can see the lineage.
Believing. When it came to hijab, Allah differentiated between Muslims and believers.
Oh, what's the difference?
I'm not I may not have the real knowledge between a believer and a Muslim. But one thing is clear, is that a Muslim is lower than a believer. If it comes to grades in front of Allah, a believer is someone who has listened and heard Allah's, laws, and Allah has said, and you just obey. Muslims are people who have been born in the religion, and they have the names. Today we have Muslims who take alcohol. We have Muslims who dress, the way they very short. We have Muslims who do not even answer salam. When he or she is a Muslim. You can be a Muslim when you're doing all the wrong things in the world, apart from shirk. Shirk is the act that takes you out of the religion. Totally, but as long as someone has not done shirk, that person is still in the bracket of. But a believer is a Muslim who has taken the belief or the faith to another level.
You understand and then put in action.
You put in action without, actually when Allah talks about believers, He says, these are humans. When they hear me speaking and the Prophet speaking, they do not put logic.
No.
They don't question.
That argument that...
when you said that the Prophet said that, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that when a woman is moving out of her home, she should cover all her, beauty spots.
Sister, I normally hear this. Don't I mean, you're telling me to do this and
that is a Muslim. And it's, you know, Allah gave us this head. He gave us our head and that intellect. He left choice to us.
Oh, you have the choice.
Allah gave us the rules. He put there the prescriptions. He has given us the prophets. He has given us the books and all the information that he needs us to, he has told us to use as we live in. But he has not forced us.
Oh.
No.
Actually, you are at liberty to do
You know that Islam, that our religion is not compulsion. That is an ayah in the Quran. For us, the religion is not for force. Allah
it's a choice.
It's a choice. Allah has created Jahannam and Jannah.
You either put on a hijab or you don't.
So when Allah was telling women to put on hijab, he was very, very clear. He graded, he upgraded, he moved us from just being ordinary Muslims. And he told, I think he knew that an ordinary Muslim would not abide by the law. That is why he told the wives of the Prophet, because those are believers, those are our mothers. And then he told the wives of believing men. So if your wife, you man who is watching me, is not putting on hijab,
then
is it a question of you, the man?
Probably.
I'm not asking Rashid.
I might be answering for others.
You want to answer for them? No problem.
I might be answering for others, probably, because sometimes I put principles and guidelines at home. They're supposed to do this and this and this. If I fail to do it, because when you are two, we put their guidelines. We must follow. So if she doesn't put on a hijab, then I'm partly.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
I was waiting for the final answer.
Partly
because a believing man or a Muslim who is on a higher grade or someone who is struggling to become a better person in the picture, or the picture they're giving their creator. When you are choosing a wife, how do you choose your wife? Are you going to choose a wife that you're going to teach?
Yes, because sometimes we say, Aja Kutera, she will change with time.
Yeah, it is possible, but the majority have failed to change.
Or they change for a certain period of time.
And we don't want people to change because of you.
Oh, it's not me.
We want people
Allah
to change because of their creator. That is a better wife. Someone who is going to do something even when you're dead.
Oh.
Someone who is going to put
someone who is going to instill these
the values
into the kids.
To even your children.
Yes.
We want women or wives who are going to take this deen to another generation. You know, that is why the Prophet's wives, when he died, they were not allowed to marry any other man. You know, they never married any other man, because there are things that were going to be sabotaged, things were going to be disturbed by these ordinary men. So when we are talking about hijab, it has to be clear.
I have a sister getting out of their home. She's going out. What is she supposed to put on?
Believing women. I want to be very clear. You know, that is what the ayah. That is what the ayah is saying. That
now we have the hijab, we have the believing woman
and the Muslim.
The Muslim.
A Muslim may not be a believer, but a believer is a Muslim.
So we are discussing first the believing.
So a believer, how does a believing woman put on? Exactly. First and foremost, we dress, when we are in our homes, we dress to please Allah. When we are out of our homes, we dress to please Allah. The dress code of a Muslim woman is an act of worship. It is not for the society. It is not a style that will be changed by trends. It is not something that is going to be prescribed by my boss. It is not something that is going to be prescribed by my husband.
It is you and your creator.
It is an act of worship. And every act of worship in Islam has been given guidelines.
Wow.
For us, our creator did not leave us to gamble with things.
We don't gamble.
No.
Things are
when it comes to all the things that we do in our religion, have guidelines. To the extent even sleeping. We have been taught on how to lay on our beds. How do we enter our beds? What do we say? Which side do you sleep on? You know, and so on. And even when you have nightmares and so on.
What you're supposed to say when you have nightmares. Yes.
So believing women, when they are putting on, they put on to please Allah. And if you are putting on to please Allah, you are putting on basing on Allah's prescription.
Naam, what are those prescriptions?
Thank you very much. When our Prophet was describing the dress a woman puts on when she's attacking the public, when she's going for work, when she's going to the market to shop, when she's going to hospital for treatment, when she's going to maybe to fetch firewood or to do, when she's moving out of her home.
Yes.
Number one, ladies are not supposed to put on dresses that show their figure.
Wow, figure.
A woman moving out of her home does not put on a tight or body-hugging dress.
Okay, okay.
It may be long, it may be short.
Okay.
But as long as we can see that you are big here and then small there, and then there are some, and then there is that, and then the bums are flat, and then that is not a dress we put on when we are going out.
Sister, are you aware that hijab is modified these days?
Hijab will not be modified.
But we see trends of hijab.
Those are fashion trends.
Not hijab.
Allah's prescriptions are not determined by trends.
Come again?
Allah's prescriptions,
okay,
Allah's laws are not determined by trends.
So if...
just a little moment. Swala.
Okay.
Can we say today that swala is going to
move changing
according to trends because, this is the .com world? Allah created us and then he put us, he gave us guidelines that are going to preserve us for the rest of the, for our life.
Okay, true.
The other thing that has to come out very clearly, all the prescriptions, all the laws that Allah has given us are to preserve us. They are for our benefit. They help us. They are saving us from a lot of trouble. When we put on hijab, our Creator does not become small, or he doesn't become big. And if we don't put on hijab, he still doesn't change. Actually, the effects are on us. The effects are on our society.
Sister, I'm looking at, you talked about the hijab is not fashion, hijab is prescribed.
Because we understand hijab as something we put on as we are moving out, that is where the confusion comes in. Whichever fashion you are following, as long as it is tight,
it's not hijab.
Because we have the fashion trends that are going on. We have jean trousers, we have leggings. Actually, I've seen it. We have also, the trends will not stop until the end of the day. But at the end, the minute you are moving out of your home, if that fashion that you are following does not fall in these in these characteristics we are going to
let me first have them.
You get a clock.
Okay, then I'll come back into my question.
So clearly, that clock,
you talked about the figure.
That clock that we are covering, inside you put on whatever you want that holds your figure. That you put on that belt, you put on that jean, you put on that yellow, and get a clock. Get a large cloth, and you cover when you are moving out. Am I clear?
Yes.
Am I clear?
Yeah.
So let us differentiate between the fashion trends. Muslims follow trends. I don't want to
actually this day no. You're trying to run away from answering this because you're saying you don't want to talk about it. You talk about it because it's there. It's real now.
What I want to come out clearly is me putting on a dress and putting on a belt. It's a tight, fitting dress, and then I put on a belt. That is a dress that I've put on.
It's not hijab.
It is not. The confusion, the confusion comes in, where do you put on that dress? Okay? Because the dresses that are on fashion, that keep changing, are probably the ones that we are supposed to put on
at home.
At home.
Okay.
So your nice belt, that very lime green
that fitting dress,
figure hugging, very beautiful and very should be within. It should be inside your home. So it should be with your husband.
The moment you're getting out of your home,
as long as you are moving out, cover that beautiful dress.
What is the beautiful dress you're talking about?
The one that we are talking about, the one that is people now put on today.
Oh.
The yellow dress, and then someone puts on a belt, and there's even no petticoat. You can even see the stripes in the panty. That is someone dressing. That is someone just who has put on any clothes.
But most of the Muslim ladies out there are putting on that these days.
I told you hijab is for
believing. Oh, okay.
That is, you know,
not Muslim ladies, but believing.
Muslim women can put on anything.
But believing women? Believing
women are going to complete. They are going to be sensitive. They are going to be careful. What do I put on when I'm going on national television?
Wow.
Because UBC is a television, it is a channel that is watched internationally.
Yes.
Everybody is watching me.
Okay.
If I came here and my breast, if I have a dress and it passes here, and then I have a veil that covers here, so part of my breast is in the camera,
then
that is not hijab.
Okay.
Because hijab is supposed to screen my sexual private parts from public.
Supposed to compress everything.
And it's supposed to, hijab even does the opposite. It is supposed to expose my private parts, or, you know, sexual parts to the people who are supposed to see them.
Okay.
I don't know if
yes, I'm
bringing the clarity.
Yes,
because
yes.
there is some confusion of...
Yes, actually it's some confusion, because when you look at our sisters out there, she goes in the shop and buy that
very long,
yes, very long,
nice dress.
Then she goes to
a tailor, and then they compress it.
They compress and they fit.
Exactly. Go on and do that. After doing that, make sure it has, you know, it has fitted very well, very beautiful. And then when you're going to office, get a big theme, something like either from head to toe, cover.
Okay.
Why do we cover? That question always comes. One, Allah told us to cover ourselves. One, so that we can be identified.
Identification?
As Muslim women.
Okay.
Did you know that if there was no veil, if there was no hijab, nobody would know that they are Muslims?
There would be no
world.
difference, okay?
Because men do not display hijab on the streets.
True.
Or they do not display, you may not display Islam so fast.
Okay, but women.
But women, when you see a woman, you know that they are Muslims in the society. Number two, so that we will be respected.
Sister, let's go back to the characteristics of hijab.
Yes.
Maybe it will give us a more deep understanding of hijab. We talked about that it's not supposed to be tight.
It should not be that dress that you put on is the one that when we are moving out of the home, or when we are near people who can marry us, people who are not our relatives, so that, you know, we do not cause any sexual you send we usually send messages that we are not intending.
The invisible messages.
Yes, women usually, by the way, many women are innocent in some things. Some women don't know the power of their bodies.
No, actually,
some girls, you look at a young girl of 15,
very innocent. Yes.
She doesn't know what her breasts mean to the males. She doesn't know what it means when she shakes her buttocks. So hijab is the only thing that can neutralize. Okay. So the other characteristic of hijab is it should be in dull colors.
In dull colors.
Remember, the other inner garments are bright. Okay. They are glittering. They are transparent. They are beautiful. They are, you know, they are attractive. So these cloth that we cover it's supposed to condense
the other brighter
to reduce the attractiveness of the other ones. Okay. So we look for dull colors. The best color is black.
Black. Because
black neutralizes all the other colors.
So you mean a Muslim, a believing women, a believing ladies should put on black?
When she is moving out, she should cover.
This lady is working Monday to Friday. So she should put on black for the whole week?
Yes. Let her put on her red, yellow, lime green inside.
But then when she's getting out?
Even inside her black. I don't want to say that, Rashid, but my petticoat might not be black.
But it is bright,
but it's inside this black.
compressed by black.
Nobody needs to know that I'm putting on a red petticoat. Because I don't know what a red petticoat could do to the males out there. You understand?
Okay.
So whatever you have decided to put on, cover it with a dull cloth, so that you can reduce the chaos. You know, women cause chaos in society.
I know.
Women do not know the power that they have.
True,
if only we knew, these husbands of ours they would be confused, and they would be enjoying a lot of life.
True.
Because for us, just opening a small something like this can create a whole of, you know, a whole can go crazy.
Someone goes off.
Yeah, but women don't know. Now we are even reducing the power. Today we can't even shake anybody. You can move naked and a man is like this. Because now you're used.
Yeah, okay.
But the power of hijab is, you know, keeping the treasure inside. Keeping the gold inside. So the other characteristic, number 3, we've talked about. It should be not figure hugging. Okay. It should be dull colored. It should not be opaque. It should be opaque.
Okay, it should be opaque.
It should not be transparent.
Transparent, okay.
When young women and women, those who want to upgrade their levels of closeness to their Allah, you don't put on a cloth and we can see what is inside. We are not supposed to know which color of bra you are putting on.
These days people have this word of kwetega.
Yeah, those are Muslims.
Oh.
Muslims can kutega, they can kwetega. But believing women know when to kwetega, and they know who
you
to kwetega.
You kwetega from home. But someone is searching.
I know what to do when I'm with my husband.
Someone is searching.
We know how to search. By the way, even Islam has prescribed how we search. For us, we do not display ourselves.
Because sometimes we feel or we think that when I'm searching, I'm supposed to create that impression.
It would be very absurd. It will be very dangerous if you are taken, or if someone picks interest, someone of the opposite sex picks interest in you basing on your sexual amenities. That I've seen that girl, she has big breasts. I want to make her my wife. What happens when your breasts sag and they become chapati? What will happen? I'm taking this girl because she's brown.
She's brown.
What will happen if she gets an accident and something happens and she gets a dark patch here? So hijab, Allah gave us hijab, ladies, to give us an opportunity to be judged or to be weighed, basing on our intellect, not basing on our physical appearance. Today the world is using the woman, using her physical appearance.
Yes.
And we are losing out. You know, it is us who are used on promotions. When a company has an item to promote, even when they are promoting a razor blade, they put a naked woman.
But sometimes I've seen well-dressed women, Muslim women, doing adverts.
Promotion and advert, I'm not a mass comer, you know, but I think you know what I'm talking about.
True.
A phone is going to come out, and then they are going to put a picture of a naked woman.
Or half naked.
Yes, a car comes out.
Yeah, because sometimes it's not very easy to put on a naked. It is half naked.
It depends on where you are. If you go to those countries that have, you know, we call them the developed countries, a brand of a car comes out, you know, a brand of a car comes out, and to promote it, they bring these half is dressed.
Yes.
Is it quarterly naked ladies who are putting on very skimpy, you know, the whole 90% of the body is out, and they model the cars.
Now, sister, there's a scenario where my sister wants to go and swim.
Yes.
A Muslim woman wants to go and swim. She wants to go out to have an outing with her husband. But then you say she's supposed to put on dark colors, compressed, but she's supposed to swim. You
mean I swim?
You swim. So let's see how you swim when you put on those colors.
We do not swim in hijab. But we do not swim in areas where there are men. We swim at the we have the IU Females Campus swimming pool. So that is the only friendly swimming pool.
I was going to tell you that everyone should go to that side, because
if you do not have swimming is not compulsory.
But it's a hobby.
A hobby is not compulsory. A hobby should not be something that makes you disobey your creator. Okay.
Actually, you have the supreme one to follow. And
if something is not available to you, you can postpone it.
Okay.
Then when you get a piece, some time or accessibility to where you can do your swimming in a halal way, you come on and we swim.
But sister, you're talking to someone who is in a teenage, he's a teenager who can listen to that.
Someone who doesn't want to listen, we really don't have anything to do, because these words that we are speaking, one, are not ours.
Okay.
That is one. Two, these words are reminders to me and you.
True.
Because the Prophet told us that reminding is for believers.
Okay, actually for believers.
So it is up to you to believe or to listen or not to listen, because at the end of the day, it is still a choice. Whether you are a teenager or an elderly lady up to a certain age, because actually hijab stops at a certain age. There are ladies that Allah has told that even though you don't cover.
Which category is that?
We have women who, for sure, when they walk, even when she walks naked, nobody can turn.
Okay.
But there are very few.
Okay, actually.
Very few, actually, they may not be there.
Because when I look at our generation now,
you know that there are men who rep grandparents.
Yes.
So it then means that hijab is nearly for a lifetime.
For a lifetime, yes.
Yeah. So to go back to our characteristics, we have said it should not be opaque, it should not be tight hugging,
transparent.
It should not be transparent.
Yes.
It should not be bright.
Bright.
That cloth, clarity is that cloth that covers. The bright is inside. The bright is for the private life or the private home or with your husband.
Okay.
But as long as you are going to the bank, because I'm seeing so many beautiful young ladies at the till.
Actually, what
they are counting our money.
You're talking about the corporate lady. Talk about the corporate ladies.
Yes.
Someone is counting the money. Someone is working. I mean, what am I supposed to put on? Because you're telling me to put on the opaque colors.
Yes. Let us grade ourselves accordingly. Let us upgrade ourselves slowly by slowly. When you know what you're supposed to do, you eventually start tuning yourself to becoming better. Rashid, the swala we used to pray when we were, say, in secondary, should not be the swala that we are praying now.
Actually,
we expect you to improve yourself every day.
Actually, even you're supposed to prolong.
We expect you to increase your knowledge every day. So if the knowledge you had yesterday was that you can dress, as long as you have this on your head, that is hijab. Actually, now we are adding more knowledge.
Actually, these days I see people putting on jeans one down with half t-shirts, then cover.
Yeah, we have what we call short dresses. We call them short dresses. Those are things that we're supposed to put on from home.
Okay.
Because a woman's legs is a sexual amenity.
Sisters, we have athletes. Muslim athletes, Muslim footballers. Right now, if you look at our national women's football club team, more of them are Muslim women. I mean, you're telling us to put on something which is an opaque, something which is covered.
What I know,
someone is going to play football, someone is going to run.
The only thing that I know right now is there is a difference between teams that are coming from Muslim countries.
True, there is. Actually,
we've seen Olympics.
Yeah, actually, I saw ladies from Saudi Arabia. From Iran,
from
Turkey.
Malaysia, from Turkey. Those are countries that have taken their religion to a certain level.
True.
In Uganda, we are not yet there. But the laws continue to they work on you. So it is a choice. This football that you're playing and you're Allah.
So here you're trying to tell us, as a sister out there, that if you're in the football, it is okay. But then you can discuss with your team coach, your manager, how you're going to put on.
As long as there is room for you to dress minimally Islamically. Minimally, because and this sports that you're playing, is it a life and death? If you don't play it, you're going to die. Because all these are choices.
But it's Allah who gave me this talent.
It's Allah who gave you this talent, but I don't know for how long you are going to put your dress code at. We use the word to jeopardize, to take it higher than, because hijab is.
Sister, let's not blame. Now, advise that sister who is watching, but playing football.
No, I'm not. Actually, I've not blamed anybody. That's not a word that I don't blame. I just, I help. We help each other.
Okay.
You choose. At the end of the day, you should be able to choose for how long am I going to be in this. Are there any rules that we can change a bit? And even though we changed, does it still offer me a number of rewards? Because football is good. Indeed, football is good. But as a lady who believes in hijab, how are you going to balance the two? That is still up to you. I really cannot, because the rules or the laws continue to apply.
You cannot, but you can advise.
I'm going to advise the lady that when you are going to play football, you try your level best to be Islamic. I don't know which level, because at the end of the day, you might be able to cancel. So I don't want to go there. I don't want to,
but even if you don't want to go there, but we can emulate those Islamic country, they have done it.
Yeah, they've tried. At least you can see that they even have uniforms.
Actually, they've tried to modify it. Then, at least.
Yeah, we continue to look for role models for people who are trying their level best to put Allah's laws in practice. If there is some people that you look up to, that is also very
actually beautiful. Sometimes when I look at Mo Salah, those footballers, the moment he scores, you see him praising Allah.
Now, Mo Salah has, I think, a background.
Then we look
his parents, the level of the knowledge. You can, but you may not be able to emulate someone so fast because they have their background.
Okay.
Mo Salah probably he's coming from a religious family. He has been raised to understand, and so on and so forth.
Okay, sister, we have few minutes to end the show. What could be your let's finish the characteristics briefly, then
briefly let us add two. Okay. One is that dress should not be very heavy,
very heavy.
But again, it should not be very light. There are materials that are, when the wind blows, it doesn't blow them. When the rain falls, they don't fall on your. You know that we have clothes. When the rain falls on a lady, it practically goes on. It's like she's coming from a swimming pool. And the other characteristic, it should not be tough.
Tough.
Because tough clothes are for men. Ladies should not put on tough clothes. That is why we are discouraged to put on the tough jean. Then there used to be very tough jeans, but today they've softened them a bit.
A bit soft.
So for us women, we don't put on tough materials because our skin is it is soft and vulnerable.
Yeah, for princesses,
we do not put on tough materials that are going to irritate our skins. And lastly, we do not put Lastly, we do not put on clothes that are like males. A woman's dress code should not be like that of a man. When we see you, we should not say that. No, a woman's cloth, is supposed to be feminine, especially that one that is moving out, so that the public can clearly know that that is a lady who is moving out. And then finally, that dress. Remember, hijab is for believers, so hijab should not be like dress code of non-believers.
Wow.
Okay, so those are the few characteristics that we can look at.
As we're ending our show, in 1 minute, why
in 2 or 1 on 1?
Why hijab?
There's a time I visited the Iran embassy. We had something, and the gentleman there told us that hijab gives a woman an opportunity for her to offer her brain capacity.
To offer
her qualifications based on her intellect, not based on her sexual, or physical appearance. Most of us ladies have been, downsized to what we look like. You will not get a job because your hips are not out. You will not get a job because you are not well built. You will not get a job because you're short. But hijab gives you an opportunity to offer. If you are a doctor, you are going to offer this service, a doctor, not a doctor of hips.
Now, sister, thank you so much for coming around. Your last word, I can see I've ambushed you, but
the other last thing is the two things that can show that you are a good woman, especially the single ladies. One is swala, two is hijab.
Wow, thank you so much.
So those two things, if we could improve them every day, probably we could attract good people to us.
Now, I want to thank you so much for coming around and with the good discussion. Mashallah.
Hijab is very sensitive, by the way.
Okay. Now, thank you so much for watching us. It has been a good discussion, a good show with Sister Zaitun Kachama discussing hijab, mashallah. Actually, we've learned a lot and it has been a good discussion. I want to thank the team behind the show, Farouk, Jamil, and the team in the technical part. Thank you so much. Let's stay united. Hijab is a prescription for all Muslims. So let's put it in action and improve everything. So, I'm Rashid Chiwan. Next time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi.
ربك بالحكمة والموعظة الحسنة وجادلهم بالتي هي أحسن إن ربك هو أعلم بمن ضل عن سبيله وهو أعلم بالمهتدين وإن عاقبتم فعاقبوا بمثل ما